All right, guys, welcome to our first lecture on sport marketing. This is going to be an introduction lecture that talks about just a little bit about sport marketing, how it works. So, this term first came around in 1979, and it's basically used to kind of describe the activities of product and service marketers who use sport as a way to promote something. So, as it defined, is it's a system that can match consumers with sport products. Now, it can consist of a bunch of different activities, and the idea of sport marketing is to try to somehow meet the needs, the wants, and desires of the people that are their customers or their consumers, and it's an exchange process. And so, there's really two big components to sport marketing. There's marketing of a sport, which I think we think of a lot more, where there are people who market the Hawks, the Falcons, the Braves through merchandise, meet and greets, things like that. But then there's also a whole nother bigger segment, which is marketing through sport. These are people who have a product that is not sport based, but they choose to do their advertising, their promotion, their marketing around sport. So you see this in naming rights of stadiums, commercials, and you see this with companies like SunTrust, like Truist, like Gatorade, Nike, Papa John's Pizza, Subway, places like that. And so one of the things we want to understand is this concept of marketing myopia, and we want to not fall into this trap. And this is the big thing that happens with people who are in the marketing business is they seem to think that focusing on their product and their sales will make everything work, and that's really not what it's about. It's about satisfying those wants and needs. Winning does not solve everything. There are plenty of teams that win a lot who still have poor attendance. A lot of people don't understand the difference between promotions and marketing. And then people also just fail to understand their competition, both inside and outside. Another thing is people think that they're going to get a quick return by hiking their prices, and they don't think about it from a long-term type of deal. They don't do a lot of good quality research. They don't have good sales and service. Some of them are just arrogant and lazy and think people are going to buy their product no matter what. And this idea of just failing to adapt to the industry, which will doom you. So these are kind of the four broad parts of sport marketing. There's the product, the market, the financing, and the promotion. We won't cover all of these exact things just because it's a 7-week class, but we'll hit the points that I think are most important to understand for people who are going into sport to work. An overview of the product. It's really the game. It's the rules, the facilities, the equipment. Okay, it provides a bunch of different things. It could be entertainment, social ability. It could be health if it was like a fitness club. And we've got to understand why our consumers are choosing to satisfy a want or need, and that way we can start to build our product to meet those wants and needs. Sometimes it's subjective. It's intangible. Sometimes you can't you can't feel a product. Sometimes the environment of a stadium you can't put your hands on. Has a lot of emotional tie. A lot of can be production and consumption at the same time. It's inconsistent and unpredictable. That's why sport is so good. And a lot of times the core product is out of the marketer's hands. And what I mean is if you're marketing the Hawks, a lot of times you have no say so on how good the team is. You just have to deal with what you've been dealt. The sport market is basically what organizations compete in or cooperate in. Okay, it's the demands, and they can fluctuate wildly. Okay, and understand sport has a universal appeal. It's a huge industry. Sport financing is the pricing of a sport product. How do we decide how to price it? What is the right price? What are our revenues versus our operating costs. All this stuff goes into figuring out how to price and finance. And then promotion is kind of the exposure of sport. Okay, this is what media and sponsors emphasize. This is the celebrity part of sport, the part that draws people to it. So kind of example, great example of market is the NBA. So former Commissioner David Stern took over the NBA in '84. Before he took it over, arenas were pretty much 2/3 full. They didn't sell anything. It was so bad that they had tape delayed the NBA Finals. He right off the bat implemented revenue share and a salary cap. He started drug testing athletes, and the results is probably the NBA right now, even though it's not the most powerful league, it is probably the most successful league and the league that has been dealt with the least amount of controversies, and it continues to grow. Bill Veeck, who is considered the father of sport marketing, he kind of wrote some commandments, and these are very relevant even today to sport marketers. He basically said things like, don't take your work too seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously. Find yourself an alter ego and bond with him for the rest of your life. Surround yourself with people who are dedicated, the same kind of people as you, free spirits. In hiring, be colorblind, gender blind, and age experience blind. If you're the president or the owner operator, attend every home game and never leave until the last out. Answer your mail or your email. Listen and be available to your fans. Respect members of the media. Create something special in your city. Don't do a promotion that you think isn't fun. Don't miss the essence of what's happening in the moment. So treasure what's happening. These are things that really could take advice in a lot of things. And so some things, the common errors that people have in marketing, and things that we can do to fix those. We want to create a sportscape experience, an overall deal, something similar to what the Battery's like in Atlanta. We want to have the ability to create a unique product that fits today's segmentation, which is really kind of very specific. We want to be able to try to control the secondary entertainment within our events. Again, something that's very common like in the Battery. We want to leverage sponsorships by basing them on target markets that match. Some other things, we want to create a good experience for the media. If they have a good experience, they're going to talk well about us. We want to have great hospitality for our sponsors. And we want to provide our employees with great training so that they can basically put that great experience out there for people and provide great feedback. There's a concept of the stickiness of a product or idea. So how do you know whether a product's going to be good? Is it simple? Is it unexpected? So like an underdog sometimes. Has it got concreteness? Does its performance speak for itself? Does it have credibility? Means it a fluke or is it true greatness? Does it have emotion? And does it have some kind of a narrative with it? Does it have a background that you can tell its story? And so that kind of rounds up this first lecture. I look forward to working with all you guys.